Hi everybody, Edgar Quadra here, doing another video for the release notes of Genesys Cloud for the month of July. Today I'm going to be running solo today for today's episode, so bear with me if I talk to myself or just try to do a little, if I just talk to myself. So for today, let's start off with July 6th, and overall for the month of July, it's a little bit light, but Genesys is still keeping up with its goal of releasing features for every week of the month. And I think the first half of the month is actually one of the heaviest releases for July. So for July 6th here, this is actually a very interesting interesting feature, I think. So as we know, there's divisions within Genesys Cloud and there's groups in Genesys Cloud. Well, now there's also something called call center teamworks. So what this means is, as an administrator or as a supervisor, you look after a group of agents. Well, you can group those agents into your own specific work groups, work teams. And with that unlocks a couple of capabilities when it comes to reporting and performance filtering. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to first show you under admin, and if you go to directory and work teams, this is where you can go ahead and create certain work teams. It's very simple. Add a new work team, and then you can just go ahead and add your members accordingly to there. And of course, you're still respecting the divisions. So, but now if I go under performance and I look at queue performance, for example here, and queue performance is obviously all is highlighting everyone in here, but maybe I manage a small subset of particular people within this particular queue. Well, I can go drill down into that, and I go to filters, and I at the very top here I just go to work team, and I just type in Jeff Hebel, I had it a little bit earlier. Now you can see I'm now filtering these performance details just for that work team. So I can go ahead and add a couple other teams as well, and I can save that view for that team, so I can compare how each team is maybe doing against each compare each team metrics. So very handy, very way of efficiently organizing work groups within the contact center. Okay. So the next one is Predictive Routing queue details report. So for those, for everyone there in the call center that has Predictive Routing enabled as one of the routing methods for your queues, there's now more analytics associated to that. So one of the things, and what this is driving, and what this new feature for the Predictive Routing queue details report, it's starting to see now how effective predictive routing is, and it's giving you almost in real time. This is an example here for one specific single media, so let's say voice, how well predictive routing is for that particular time period, how well predictive engagement or predictive routing is handling your average handle time. Is it up, is it down? Those particular metrics in there. So very powerful, really bringing along analytics. Now, if you have a queue that is supported multiple media types, this is a multimedia type thing here. For another view, you can see overall for, let's say, I think this is chat, web chat, web, SMS, and voice, how overall predictive engagement is helping. So this is an analytics view that's being generated in real time without having to push to a third-party BI tool. Genesys is building that into the predictive routing engine as part of the reporting suite. So very powerful. Again, if you haven't enabled predictive engagement, I think it's you should explore, and Genesys actually makes it very easy to start enabling predictive engagement. So very quickly, if I go to admin and I go to my queues, and if you're obviously licensed for it, you can see it will give you certain the engine will give you certain recommendations to see how well one of these queues would operate under predictive engagement. And this is something I can, if there's a more request in the comments, put a like or a comment down in the comment section if you want to see more demo around predictive engagement and how you could this could help your situation. But very quickly, you can go ahead and start evaluation. Genesys will kind of do like an A/B testing to see how well that routing model will stands up against your current routing model. So for example, standard routing, how will it stack up against predictive engagement for that particular queue? And you can make educated decisions if you want to enable that or not. Okay, let's head back here to another one. External metrics for performance scorecards. So part of the gamification core metrics here, what Genesys is allowing you to now import external KPIs into that gamification scorecard. So again, gamification, if you're not using it, under activity, and this is part of Genesys 3 license. So in here, and I go to my gamification scorecards, these are metrics that are out of the box that can be configured within Genesys Cloud. Well, now what this feature allows, it allows you to bring in external data. So let's say in a sales environment, how many daily sales, first contact resolutions, number of leads generated as an example, those metrics you can import into Genesys Cloud to give you the agent and you as a management, quality manager, contact center manager, a more holistic view of all the agent's activities in one single pane of glass, which is really exciting, really, really good. And it's driving those efficiencies in the call center. So something, again, you can take advantage of, reach out to your account manager, reach out to Star Telecom, and we can help set that up for you. Topics and sentiment metrics consolidation for digital media. So what this means is web messaging and email messaging and email medias are pretty much that single conversation can be open for a period of 42 hours. And what Genesys prior to this new feature, what was doing and if you're doing sentiment on those particular medias, it will give you the sentiment analysis for that small period of time. So let's say for the first few hours, but it wouldn't consolidate the overall 72-hour window of that email or message being open. So now what it's doing is Genesys is waiting that 72-hour period potentially, and then it's consolidating those scores into one complete score. So it's giving you a much more concise view of the sentiment of that interaction. The downside to this is it's going to delay that sentiment score and analysis being available within the interactions section. Now, obviously, if an agent and customer end interaction, then that particular interaction, email or messaging, then it will then close off and consolidate and show the sentiment. So something to keep in mind if that's something you're doing for sentiment analysis on those media types. Amazon Lex integration in Canada, the central region, is now available. So if your call center, your business favors Amazon Lex and its interactions, well, now it's available in the Canadian central region and all the features and functionalities that come with that. Lastly, here is integration. So SMTP server integration, email notifications to agents. So let's read this here. Agents in the contact center that use custom SMTP server integration can send outbound emails, now receive error messages. Cool. So what this means now is at the email server level, if an email bounces or if it's failed to deliver for some reason, maybe a wrong email address, well, that notification can be presented to the agent, and then the agent can go ahead and action on it. So very useful in driving more customer service availability for that. Cool. Okay, so that ends July 6th of release notes. Again, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the description, in the comments section below. I am now going to move on to the next week in July 13th. So here's the July 13th release notes, and let's just get into it right now. So for the Collaborate section of Genesys Cloud, they've added now more video chat setting improvements for the video chat. So let's get in there and see what that is. I'm just going to click here into the link. So it's now more optimization for those particular media types. So let's open up my interface here. Let's go to video chat. I don't think I have anyone online. It is Friday afternoon here, so everyone's probably signed off for the week, for the weekend. Yeah. Okay, not a problem. So we could just talk a little bit more here. Maybe I can just keep talking to myself. But what this does now, it allows you much more granular options for these particular features when it comes to video chat. So again, just giving you more control under video chat. And you may ask yourself, how can I use video chat within Genesys Cloud? One way that I know some of our clients are using it is for quality management. So in the quality management, you set up a coaching appointment and you want to review a particular form, or you just want to engage with one of the agents there, where you can take advantage of directly in Genesys video chat. Just type in the name of the person you want to chat, and then Genesys will open up a video chat. It will access the built-in webcam or your laptop or an external webcam, and then you can do all that meeting face-to-face meeting within the Genesys environment without having to jump to another application. And that's part of the communicate features in Genesys, or collaborate in Genesys. Okay, so now speaking about communicate, what Genesys is introducing now, BYOC on-prem hardware solution for media edges. So a media edge allows a media edge in general just allows you to have a bit more control on the voice traffic and the media traffic within your particular environment. And if you have a particular use case where a localized edge device is needed on premise, then what this now allows you to do is build that hardware solution based on some recommendations from Genesys, and then you can download certain images to that particular hardware, and then you can run and host your own media edge server. Where this could come in handy, maybe you have some proprietary on-premise solution, database, or application, maybe related towards PCI compliance. So that's an avenue that you can explore, so you can leverage the power of a cloud-based contact center, but yet still leverage some of the investments that you might have done on-prem. That's a possible solution. Again, I'm not an expert, but if that does ring a bell, if you have a need for something like that, definitely reach out to us and we can help come up with a solution around that new feature. Okay, you can now provision Lambda numbers within Genesys Cloud in US and Canada. So any of our US and Canada customers, or if you are a client of Genesys within these regions here, you now have the ability to purchase a lot more Latin American DIDs and toll-frees. More specifically, you can see here these countries are now available for purchase. Yeah. Let's move on here. Under the contact center space, topic trends, summary, and details view. I actually like this performance view quite a lot. So if you are using sentiment analysis and you're active user of the topics and trends within that. So topics and trends is certain keywords that Genesys monitors from the recording, and then it will group them into these general topics. So what does that look like? So let's get it back into my interface here. Let's go to Performance and Workspace. And I'm going to click on, just going to open up a new view here. And under the Contact Center, in Speech Text Analytics, we have topic trends. Okay. So now these are all the topics that currently Genesys is enabled or monitoring within our environment here. And I want to start getting a chart going here. So I'm going to select a couple of these. And if there is anything there, so now it's analyzing there. Maybe I'll just expand my time period here for the last this month, all of month there. And there's some of these in here. I'm gonna add those ones, and so not a lot of data in this environment. Now add those to the filter. Now Genesys will start giving you a more analytical approach to representation of these particular topics and trends and how often they're being picked up from the call recording. So again, these topic and trends, they're driven by by out-of-the-box keywords that Genesys has generated, but you can also add your own keywords to your own topics as well. So if you have a new product release that's coming out, create a topic for that product release, and then keywords associated to that, and then Genesys will be able to monitor and show you it almost in real time how many instances for that particular topic are happening in the call center for that period. The other one is the detailed view. So if I drill down a little bit more into here, and I want to go ahead and see the analysis for that particular day, Genesys will then be able to analyze and give me a more it would be a bar graph representation of how many of those topics are being picked up during this particular interval. So again, very driving data, making it visual, and giving you the power of, okay, what kind of business decisions I can make based on the data that Genesys is analyzing and presented to you, to your call center. So again, you can read up a little bit more on that, and if it's a feature that you want, or if you are currently using it or not, it is an upgrade. So, or if you do currently have a Genesys 3 or one of the various upgrades there, go ahead and take advantage of it. Reach out to us if you need help setting up topics and trends. Agent ACD skills and language proficiency routing improvement. Okay, so it's kind of a mouthful there, but what this is giving you now is actually allowing you to add proficiency, so that star rating between 1 to 5 to the language, as well as currently with the skill. So you could say if certain agents are strong in French or Spanish or one of multiple languages that you may service, you can now add proficiency rating to that. So you have a senior speaking French agent and then a junior speaking French agent. You can route based on those language proficiencies now. Improve default program list in speech and text settings. So Genesys Cloud updated the default program selection in the speech and text analytics setting page so that all published programs are visible, including programs with unpublished changes. Okay, so under the admin section here, and I go down to speech and text analytics under quality. Under actions here, there's these particular topics and settings here where you can go ahead and have different programs. So under here, programs. So if I go ahead and I create some of these particular programs, and what a program is, if I go to my demo in here, a program is a list of certain topics. So again, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, if you have a new product release and you create a program for that product release, you add the topics, and within those topics are certain keywords. So now you've now created your own particular program. What this feature now allows you to do is we're able to see those unpublished programs within the environment where you can go ahead and start selecting them. So it's just a little improvement to the list of programs and lists there. Japanese voice transcription support. So again, Genesys just keeps on adding more support to different regions. I think last month we talked about how there seems to be a heavy push in the Asian market, Asia Pacific market. So Genesys just keeps doubling down and adding more and more support for that region. And this is now voice transcription for the Japanese market and Japanese speaking clients. Okay, so last month Genesys postponed this deprecation of this feature. It's just a visitor count variable. They postponed it to August 10th, so that just that has passed, and by the time you're probably watching this video, this feature, this deprecation would all be in place. Yeah. All right, so now this is the July 20th release notes. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to take a little drink here. It's actually hot water. That's for my tea this morning. Okay, so next is contact center skill expression groups available in select regions. So select regions means that's not available yet in all Genesys Cloud regions. But what this is, it allows you to start creating skill expression groups, and then those skill expression groups can inherit some of those particular features that you create. So it's a much more dynamic way of creating groups and assigning actually ACD skills to those particular groups. So it's very cool, very another way of organizing the call center and being able to organize your call center a bit more. Now, I don't think it's available in the region that I have access to currently. So if I go to groups overview, it's coming soon still. But here's just a little bit more example of what it is. So skill expression groups allow administrators to set agent groups that update membership dynamically based on ACD skill conditions. Right. So something you can go ahead and take advantage of, and if it meets your particular need in the call center, definitely a feature you can take advantage of. Again, if you have more questions about that, please contact us or leave it in the comment section, and we can help answer those for you. Pre and post contact rules set for outbound digital campaigns. So post and pre contact rules were available in voice, and now as email is now being rolled out as an outbound media, outbound campaign media, as well as SMS. There's now those rules, those pre-rules, so you can do preconditions. So if you're going to send an email to this email list, do this check first to see, should we send them? So like a do not email list, or is there a particular template based on the email? Maybe that email is flagged in your CRM and you have a rule associated to say, okay, send this email template instead of this one, the default one. So that's pre and then post rules, very similar, right? So if I get a bounce back in the email, or if I get a reply back, what happens there? So very interesting and powerful things for digital media campaigns. System dispositions, contact type added to call rules for outbound dialing campaigns. So if you're doing voice campaigns and you have a call that doesn't get answered or maybe doesn't reach an agent within the appropriate time, it's an abandoned call, you can set system disposition, so automatically mark this with a particular disposition. So you can go ahead and add that as part of the rules set. Here's a little cute one, cover art for development and feedback modules. So if you're currently heavily using the learning modules within Genesys Cloud, kind of like cover art back in the day for your CD albums. CD albums, actually, those are two different things. But for just adding that, and it just gives a bit more feedback and context for your learning modules. So where is learning modules right now? Again, I always go down to there, and it is performance and engagement. Sorry about that, everybody. So if I go in here and I go to a learning module and I want to add a new module, I can go ahead and create a new module, and then here's a cover art. Right, so this cover art will allow you to add a particular album art to it. So when an agent receives it, they'll be able to see a small little icon here, dictating what the module is about. Maybe it's just your logo, or maybe something very specific to that learning module. So again, just adding a bit more functionality to the overall application. Okay, query historical adherence data via GET. So now part of the API tool set for workforce management, you're able to use the API to get historical data, historical adherence data via the API. Okay. All right, now this is the July release, July 27th release notes. And the very first one here is communicate. So BYOC Cloud TLS Certificate Renewal. Every few years or so, depending on when that certificate needs to be renewed, BYOC Cloud carriers that are using that, the TLS certificate is renewed. So nothing that your current BYOC carrier needs to do, or you as Genesys Cloud Administrator needs to do. It automatically is managed by Genesys on their own. So again, if you want to read more about TLS, but this just allows encryption of the voice traffic over that particular TLS trunk that's enabled on your cloud environment. Okay. Genesys Dialog Engine Botflow Insights and Optimization menus. Administrators and contact centers can now use the Insights and Optimizations menu in the Genesys Dialog Engine Botflows. The new menu enables administrators to measure performance efficiencies and identify enhancement and opportunities within a unified workspace by providing access to bot performance reports, interaction reports, and intent miner. So if we just go down a little bit more in here, you can start seeing where when you start building out your bot flow, you can go into your bot and you can select those particular reports and see how your bot is performing. Do I need to make particular changes to my bot flow or intents in there based on the data that is being gathered by the bot? So if I do a quick little look into what's available within this bot performance details view, you'll be able to see here some of the columns that are available to it. So I don't actually have a bot in my environment to show this live, but you can see these are the example of the columns. What's the bot? What was the result? What was the final intent? So using all those metrics that are available within that Genesys is gathering directly can be viewed from the architect tool. So it just allows you to pop up that report, streamlining the process of creating bots within Genesys Cloud. Okay. Last two for the month here. This one's actually very interesting. So for any of our Microsoft Teams and Genesys Cloud users, you may be aware currently that there is an app that allows statuses, MS Teams statuses to be displayed within the agent interface within Genesys Cloud. Well, now this is, I'm going to call it, let's say, phase 2 of that integration, where now you can embed Genesys Cloud directly in the MS Teams environment, which is really exciting for a couple of reasons. One, it gives the agent, and if your agents are active users of MS Teams, it does give the agents now a single interface to kind of work from. So we can have MS Teams running, and within the apps application of Genesys Teams, so down below here, Genesys can now run in its own within the Teams interface. So here, this section, Genesys would run, and then you still have access to all the other Teams features. This is now enabling and allowing for other cool features, such as status syncing between the two platforms. So if I'm on a call, if I'm on an ACD call within Genesys Cloud, that will be represented in my Teams environment. So very interesting stuff. If there's a use case, if you're an active user of both applications, definitely reach out to your Genesys administrator to see if this is something you can take advantage of. Or again, leave questions in the comments, reach out to Star Telecom, and we can help set that up for you. Right. Lastly, here is if you are a user of the desktop Genesys Cloud application, it's now natively supported in Windows 11. So if you've been holding off on Windows updates for agents that are using the desktop application, you can go ahead and start rolling out Windows 11 if that was a roadblock or one of the stopping points. Because you're using desktop app for Genesys Cloud. And again, and just a recap on the desktop application, it actually functions like a native application in your environment within the desktop. So if I can click on it, I can launch it, and it will function like a regular Windows application. You can see I've been launched. It's now asking me to update it so it can take advantage of this new feature that's released now. The desktop app gives you a couple of other extra features that the web application does not. So for example, screen recording. You probably are aware of this since you are users of the desktop app, but screen recording is one of the features. It's actually the web application will have support for screen recordings next year. So that's something to keep in mind. If that's the only reason why you're using desktop app, it might be easier to use the web version starting next year. All right, everybody. So that is the last release note for July and 27th, and in general for July. I hope July was a good month for everybody. Again, this is Edgar Quadra from Star Telecom Solutions Consultant. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments or reach out to myself or your or to Star Telecom, and we can help you with any one of these new features or any of your future business needs within Genesys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.